Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapache, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you, as always, once more for joining us. All right, well. Fancy seeing you here. We just saw you guys back on Thursday, Friday-ish. We were trying to get another show sometime last week, and our schedules didn't meet. And we ended up doing a show on Thursday, Halloween Thursday. But we're back Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, I guess, when at the time of this recording. So not much news has dropped since then because we did talk about some stuff on that show, but we did have some fight results that we wanted to go over and talk about the
The
current
the
landscape.
news the news was so bad, Miguel. De La Hoya is bringing up his wife's holding breast implants on Clapback Thursday. I'm looking up news and I see the one you sent me where he's holding them. Are you fucking
Yes.
kidding me right now? He brought
I,
De La Hoya's.
that's how slow of a news week it is. But we did cover some stuff on Thursday. Nothing has changed besides that. I was expecting to see, his implants of his girlfriend's ass on his fucking hands, but it's her implants or her breast augmentation that she removed. That's how slow a news week is. And I don't know. His clapback is at his own girlfriend for having them removed. I'm sure it's all a joke and good fun, but regardless, I don't know if she really got that shit removed or not. I have to assume she really did, but that's what Oscar feels needed a clapback. That's how. I mean, half of his rant was on the boxing not being on the ballot for 2028, and then the other half was talking about his girlfriend's breast implant. So
Correct.
that's how slow
Correct.
of a damn news week is. But we did have some fights, last weekend or last night, I should say. I'm like losing my train of thought here, but I it before I get into Andrew and his nice weekend, whatever, however his neat weekend is going. I live in Vegas, and it's starting to cool down, and we're getting a lot of wind. So my allergies have been acting up like a mother. So if you see me wipe my nose regularly or go because my run nose is runny, my bad. Andrew, don't fire me. I know you don't like people picking their nose on TV, so I will definitely do my best to not wipe my nose as often as I need to. But before we get into all of the little news that we have, Andrew, what's happening, dude? How's your morning going or afternoon going?
Very good. Family's off to church. I got the house to myself.
Such a
So
sinner you are. Such a sinner. You
eh,
skip on
eh,
church. This is what Andrew does. He sacrifices church to to do this show, guys. So
that'd be a trip if that was brought up on the judgment day, huh?
I know, right? He'd be like, so November 3rd, I see here you were clowning about not going to. It's like, I'm sorry, God.
Ay, 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 Miguel. So that's what they're doing. Came back from Monterey. Had a baby shower to go to. That was nice. Got the kids. It was very cold though.
Oh, I bet. Sounds
Monterey is no joke on the on wind and how cold it is. So yeah, it was cold. The day wasn't. Day was very nice.
hmm.
It was manageable. It's when that sun went away. When the sun went away, it got really cold over
Well,
there.
it's a
So
coastal town, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yes, yeah, right on the water. So, but did good. Came home, and that's where we're at. So today we're just relaxing and doing the show.
Is it a long drive from where you're at to Monterey?
2 hours, two
Oh,
hour
it's not bad.
drive. Yeah, not bad. Yep.
Right on. Yeah, that's pretty simple. This last Monday, actually, I took my dad to Colton, California, Southern California, because I have family there, and they were gonna go to Tijuana because we have a property in Tijuana, and my dad needed to go take a look at that. So my dad was like, "What are your days off again?" I was like, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday," and he's like, "Do you think you can take me, like, just a quick take me to like your uncle's house in Colton, California?" And you can even drive back the same day if we go early enough. And I was like, oh shit, can I do? And I don't. When I was younger, that wasn't a problem, but I'm like 40 now, so I'm like, damn, can I do that? Can I handle going 3.5
Hmm.
hours there and then 3.5 hours back the same day? So I kind of debated it for a second. I'm like, no, I can kick.
Come
I do it.
on, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, come
I do it.
on.
And I for those of you who don't know, I love driving, especially if I'm by myself. I love driving. So I took him, and met up with my uncle real quick, and I was like, all right, got to bounce, cool. So I hopped back on the shit. Got back, and I made it back that same evening. It was more like 2 or 3, but we booked it early as fuck. We try to leave early to try to beat the traffic. So yeah, 7 and some odd hours, or actually, yeah, it's like seven, a little over 7 hours on the road, going to Colton, California, then back to Vegas. So I got my miles,
Nice.
in
Hell
addition
yeah.
to the road trip. But that's how my last weekend turned out. We had some fights yesterday, a couple of them actually. There was even a UFC card that I was like interested as well. I was like, hell yeah, let's pop that shit in. And it was one of those days where I wish my living room looked like a sports book at a hotel casino, where there's like 3 TV screens, because I had the UFC playing on one, I had the ESPN Plus card Top Rank on one, and then I had the DAZN Golden Boy on the other one. So at some point in my life, I want my living room to look like that. I want it to have multiple screens, as if it's a damn sports book, because there are some weekends where there are 3 or 4 cards at the same time, and it's quite the task to keep up with all of them. And I'm sure at some point you turn away, you look at one screen, and you miss what happened on the other. Thankfully, the main events kind of came on a little bit separate hours, and then on top of that, they are on streaming services where you can just repeat them if you need to. But what's the fun in that? I want to see them all at the same time. um, we had quite a few fights this weekend. I guess we can start off with the one that we have the least to talk about, I guess, which is the Oshaki Foster taking on Robson Conceição, if I can pronounce his name properly. 130-pound super featherweight, of course, the WBC championship on the line. This is or it was a rematch of their first fight, which I think happened earlier this year, where there was a bit of a controversy because Conceição ended up coming away with the victory and the WBC title. And a lot of people were saying, holy fuck, we all expected Foster to just take it. And it was a bit of a lackluster fight. It had its moments. I'm talking about the original one. And in the end, Conceição ended up coming away with the victory. And of course, that didn't sit well with a lot of people, including Foster. So he said, no, immediate rematch. We got to get it done. And here we were last night. And he came through. He ultimately came through, and Foster got his belt back. He got the win back. So it wasn't a thrilling fight. It had its moments, especially in the very beginning, because it seemed as though we were going to get kind of the same fight as the first one. To some degree, we still did, but it seemed as though Robson was just more willing to defend his belt. He came out throwing punches right off the bat. And I got to say something about Robson. He's an Olympian, right? So he's got the skills, but he just doesn't have the pop. When he throws his punches, it's almost kind of like Wilder. He doesn't really throw the straight punch. He kind of hacks to a certain degree, and it sounds great because Foster would block with his shoulder, and it lands on his shoulder, and it sounds like a loud pop. But the punch didn't even really land. I'm not sure if judges are noticing that, and maybe that's what they saw the first time and thought the punch actually landed when it's just brushing off the shoulder. But Foster did what he needed to do, especially the latter half of the fight. It was almost like Regis last week. He started off really good and very active, and
You're
eventually
talking
decided.
about Concepcion, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like he started off good. He had the strength and the energy in his legs. I believe he's 36, 34, roughly around there. Um, and Regis is in that same age range, and it just seemed like he started slowing down, and his corner was telling him, Foster's corner was telling him, hey, he's starting to slow down, pick it up. And sure enough, he did. Not overly, he picked it up just enough. It was one of those fights where it seemed like Conceição was doing this, and then like Foster was doing just as much more to
Here,
win it.
you want a title? You want a title for this fight for all you writers out there? It's
Yeah.
probably an easy one that's been done many times in boxing, but this was a repeat, not a rematch.
Mm.
Right? That's what I seen last night. They kept talking about loose change on the bar, right? Leaving points out there. Um, that didn't change. The biggest one coming in, what was it, the 10th round when he drops him? I'm talking about when Foster looked like he dropped him. Now his hand might not have touched, right? Did you see that
Yeah.
moment? Yeah, he
Yeah, I,
touches
I think the
Concepcion.
referee was kind of in the way, but it didn't look like he dropped him per se, but it looked close.
He wobbles him, right? For the next minute and a half, Miguel, this man is walking to his left, which would be right in the right hand of Foster's. Yet we never get a lead right hand by Foster. The guy's hurt. He's almost goes down. He gets up. He's walking into your power hand, yet you don't throw one. I told my son he left $1 on the table. If
Yeah.
the other rounds was he left some change, oh my God, what is he doing right now? Screaming at the TV for this young man to throw a right hand while the guy's walking into it. Insane. That but that kind of threw me off. I just wanted to jump in there and say that. Last night we were supposed to be seeing the future, right? We had a lot of fights, a lot of guys up and coming, really not proven. Foster's already been a champ, but still in the big stage, not proven, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still looks very green. That's the world champ.
Yeah.
Still looks very green. Concession looks very old. Um, just there's certain fighters. There's a list of fighters that Top Rank needs to just go ahead and cut their ties with. They've used them, enough on these main event cards for ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Concession is on that list now that he's lost. We can give him a break. I know he's old and all that, but I mean, damn, how many ESPN cards can he be a part of?
Right.
Just being real. Valdez is another one that's going to come up if he loses his next fight with Navarrete, the rematch.
Mm.
Can we just cut him loose, Top Rank? Come on, Bob. Seriously? Don't need to see the rebuild on ESPN too.
No.
So that's where I'm at with it. It was a good fight, but it was the same fight that happened last time. The right outcome happened. That's all that I seen in this rematch.
That's just what I was going to ask you. If we saw the same fight, how come we got a different outcome?
Remember, neither of us could call it last time on why they came up with Concession. It made no sense. They took like all the momentum out of their own guy. Foster was their own guy coming up in the division. Concession had already been to the top. He's lost probably twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
against Navarrete and Valdez, actually.
And Valdez, yeah. So there was really no point in the robbery last time, or even if it was just a close fight, you think Foster gets it because he's the guy with the momentum going up. One of those ordeals. No, they gave it to Concession. I couldn't call it why last time. Last night, dude, ESPN was so torn. They're so torn during this fight.
Yeah.
One minute Foster's doing good, the next minute he's leaving change on the fucking table. Concession's landing the more cleaner shots or whatever. He's being more effective. They're making sense, but you can tell nobody is really carrying this fight. Nobody is dominating the fight.
No one's leading. I guess.
Exactly. The fight is on the table because ESPN don't know which way they want to call it yet. They're on both sides of the fence. They couldn't just say Foster, Foster, Foster. And until about the 8th round. I think in the 8th round is when Foster changes it. Now, look, I don't give Foster the 12th, though. I thought he lost the 12th. I was like, what the fuck? I was so mad. That was another moment I was mad at him, is for losing that 12th round. Now, I think ESPN gives it to him, and I thought that was their get back for the last robbery. They gave him
I think they did because if I remember correctly, Kriegel was the one who was the unofficial official, and he had a Foster ahead by 1 round at the end of the 11th. So had they given it to Conceição, then it would have been a draw on theirs. So I think they did have Foster winning on their card as well. So I think they did give Foster the
12th round. Yeah. So I didn't have him winning the 12th. I thought it was a very, very poor performance for that being your title round, right? This is the one that
seals the deal.
It's for all of it. Yeah, it's for all the marbles right here. These last 3 minutes. So didn't like that one, but either way, I don't want to see a third fight, Miguel. I don't want.
You don't want the tiebreaker? You don't want to see the tiebreaker?
No need for the tiebreaker, bro. Please, I hope Top Rank. That's not what they were trying to do there. Because they really got no future for both guys until some other things work themselves out in the division. There's really no movement right now, right? Valdez and Navarrete, they're fighting each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be Foster's next move.
Yeah,
right? Because and they're all in the same stable. So I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see a third one. even though it's on the table. Have they been competitive? You tell me, competitive enough for a third one on ESPN? Nothing fancy here. Would
Mm.
you watch it again?
Uh, I mean, would I watch it? Yes, just because I'm gonna watch anything. But I don't think it's worthy enough to be a main event. I think it would probably be a co-main event. I think I'd
There
be
you
fine
go.
with that if
There
that's
you
the
go.
direction they want to go. I don't think they'd even want to go that route. I mean, we have Valdez and Navarrete coming up in about a month's time, in December. So that lines up
Just
perfectly.
wait.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
exactly. So I
There
don't
you
see
go.
the point in doing it. I mean, I guess if maybe Hobson's corner and his team kind of pushes for it, maybe Top Rank will give in and be like, all right, fine, we'll give you another crack. But I don't see the point in it. We're gonna I don't see what difference will a third fight make,
No.
honestly. I think at that point people will know what to expect and what we know what to see from either one of these guys. By that point, Hobson will be even older. So
Did the hair bother you?
it didn't really. It's oddly it seemed to bother Timothy Bradley a lot more that he was just like doing one of these things. And um I've seen worse. I've seen much worse. As a matter of fact, I think they mentioned it during the broadcast. Paulie Malignaggi had to get his fucking hair cut at one point in the middle of a fight.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he
and
cut
then
it
and then they
off.
mentioned someone else. I forgot her name, but that one 160
Yes.
pound fighter,
Middleweight champ.
or middle, yeah.
Yeah.
So I forgot what her name is. I can't pronounce. She has like a very unique name, but yeah, she had a wig or something or some sort of extensions, and they were falling off. And her corner was like, okay, we got to take it off. And
Started
she's like, no, no,
cutting
no,
him.
don't take it off. She was telling them not to take it off, and they were like, either this or the belt. What do you want? God damn it! So then they ended up removing it, but
She wins the title.
she
You gotta say she
does.
wins the title on
Yeah,
that
she
night.
goes
So
home.
the cornerman was right.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking braids her a title. She got her title.
And the only thing that braids or the tape around the hair on Foster did really is it's like it helps my dad remember who he is. He's like, oh yeah, the guy with the tape on his hair. Yeah, that's how my dad remembers who the hell he is. Because there's this guy, the dude Nova on the undercard has like the beard that's like dyed or something. That helps, these little things that helps my dad remember, like, oh yeah, I've seen this guy before. That's the only reason he remembers Foster, is like, oh, that's the dude with the tape in his hair. Yeah, that's the same dad.
What
Yeah.
what I'm nervous now, I don't think Timothy needed to say it so many times.
Right.
What I'm nervous on is the tap on the side of the face if he's reacting to that. Because if he is flinching or if he is blinking, right? Then there is a chance that the opponent lands a shot that wouldn't have been landed if you weren't fucking blinking because you got this thing that keeps slapping you on the side of the head every time you're
Mm.
basically moving your head. I seen I seen the issue Timothy Bradley's talking about. Just thought he overkilled it on how many times he was like, "There's the hair, there's the hair,
Mm.
there's the hair." There's one round where he's like, he says like every time it hits him on the face, like, "All right, dude, we fucking get it. The hair is a problem. It is a problem. He should think about it because, like that's a great example you just brought up of the trainer telling the fighter, the women's champ in the corner, it's either the belt or the title or the hair. Um, Foster is in that same thing right now. Now you're the champ. You're the guy. Do you really want to do this every 3 seconds or 5 seconds, whatever you're doing it? I'm sure that someone could clock you on how many times you're doing it around and how many times you're getting hit because your hand isn't here at home. It's here, looking like a model, right?
Yeah, doing like the
During the
gotcha.
fight. During the fight, Miguel. So
Right.
I get his argument. Timothy's dead right. Just overkill. But it's and I seen it. You actually see the times where he did
Hmm.
sometimes move his hand and bink, and then Timothy, there it is, there it is. And I was like, oh yeah, that is true. He fucking moved his hand and got hit. So the trainer has an argument to get at Foster and be like, dude, everybody's starting to notice your fucking hair. You got to watch out for that because they're going to start timing it, right? They might
Hmm.
throw a hook as soon as the hair falls here or hits here. It's a gamble, but a gamble worth taking because he might do this as soon as
Yeah.
you throw that hook.
And anytime that hair, because for the most part the hair was behind, so it wasn't that problematic, but every so often it would fall on his shoulder, and those are the times where he had to like tuck it off. So if fighters would study it, and whenever that shit lands, if you're even sparring partners, for fuck's sake, when they see that shit hit there, it's like, oh, he's gonna move it out of the way, get ready,
Yep.
to unload that, have it in the chamber, whatever it is he wants to land next time the dude ends up trying to like moving the hair out of the way. But it didn't bother me. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I mean, it just seemed like you're right. Timothy Bradley made it a bigger deal than it really was, but it's definitely something that needs to be looked at. At least brought to
Yes.
the table and had a conversation about it. Like, do we really want to have this? Like, you saw what happened. You got your belt taken away by Hobson. You got it back. Okay, cool. Let's not fuck it up. Let's just shave the fucking hair off, and call it a
It's
day.
a good
Um,
insight. It's a good trainer's eye that
mm,
Bradley had there. He gave us a little insight of what what you can see on an opponent, a weakness, right? Definitely a weakness on Foster's part is you keep moving your hand away from your home, your jaw.
yeah. Yeah, that was a bit of an issue, and it seemed like his only solution was. I mean, I don't remember how his hair looks prior because I don't really pay attention to the fighters outside of the ring too frequently. But he had tape around it, so it was basically like one big ass tail. Honestly, is what it looked like. As a matter of fact, there was a couple of times where I came over and I think he even hit Hobson a few times. So I was like, is this some kind of like? I remember watching the
Is
movie.
there a rule about this?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, is there a rule? For all you like movie nerds, back in the day, there was a movie called Best of the Best from the 80s. There was a sequel afterwards where there was like this underground fighting happening in Las Vegas, and Wayne Newton was the announcer. Anyway, there was a guy there that had like a long ponytail, right? One of the fighters, and he had some sort of metal something at the end of his fucking, and he would like whack it around, and the main character got like sliced on his fucking head or something. But anyway, I thought it was funny. Like, that's what it reminded me of, because a few times it kept like coming over and smacking. And now it's like, is Hobson going to have to be the one, like, smacking the hair out of the way? But yeah, I think it's something that they probably need to take a look at and probably resolve, like real soon, because he has his belt back. Yay, good for him. Now keep it, and the last thing you want, you already saw that sometimes judges can take the belt away from you. The last thing you need is more distractions for yourself. Make sure to hang on to that belt. But ultimately, he came away with the decision. Did you see anything? I mean, I talked about it a few times as far as like Hobson. He slowed down in the second half of the round, right? Like, it wasn't just that Foster did anything differently other than just basically waited. It was Hobson who started slowing down the second half of the fight.
Yeah, you could say slowing down. You don't want to take all the credit away from Foster, right? Yeah. So he broke him down too. He was boxed. They were boxing. It was a good fight. I had Foster winning the first fight, right? So I got to really lean on that this is the same fight that I seen the first time. He got outboxed again. This time he did it. He put on the pressure a little bit more at the end, even though he loses the 12th round, in my opinion. I know on the
Right.
scorecards he probably doesn't, but in my opinion, I thought he took his foot off the gas instead of actually going in there and taking it to concession. So it's a close fight. Wasn't mad at the 115, 113. I think scorecard is what ESPN had.
Mm-hmm.
Not mad at that scorecard at all. That's it was 8-8 going into the ninth. It's 4-4 in the eighth. Excuse me. They have it 4-4. It's tied up. That's what ESPN had. And I had told Junior right before that scorecard was released that my scorecard, this fight is kind of dead close, man. These guys are going back and forth. Nobody is taking over, and you can tell by the commentary they don't know what side of the fence to fall on. 1 minute it was Concession is doing good on being more active, aggressive, throwing
Mm-hmm.
punches when Foster's not. And then when Foster would throw, he was landing good shots, backing him up. So then they would, because Foster is kind of the top rank guy they want to move forward, they would kind of jump on right back to him. So there's no clear cut rounds, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, until you really get into the last four. So the last four rounds is kind of what calls this fight. And, Concession, maybe he got tired, or maybe Foster's, that right hand is a good shot that he hits him with. Is that round 9 or 10 that he hit
Uh,
when he
I don't
put
remember.
his
I want to say it's probably 10. I think
Okay,
it
when
was
he
later in
puts
the
his
fight.
hand down, that's a good shot, and I don't get to see the replay I want to see how close he comes to touching. If it was he just goes down to his knee like that level, or did he actually almost barely touch the ground? Because it's a
Hmm.
legit knockdown if his glove went to the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it reached his calf maybe. Like
Okay,
I
so
think it
it
went
was
below the
close.
knee. Yeah, I want to say it was like around his calf area. I I don't remember seeing the replay right offhand because during live action the
I could have
referee
swore
wasn't there.
the replays don't show you the
Mm,
wide shot. If
mm.
I'm not mistaken, they never give you the actual. But I might have missed it, bro. But I could have swore they don't show you if it fucking touches or not. That's what I'd have to go back and watch. I should have watched it this morning, to be
Yeah,
honest with you. But but no, either way, Foster takes it in the last
yeah,
four. The closest you can have it 3-1 in the last 4 rounds, right? I don't see Concession having an argument for round 9, 10, or 11. So that that in my opinion is where Foster wins this fight. Um he's green. Look, this is the second time he's been in the on the big stage. He has the same issues. So is it the fighter or the trainer? And this is what both of these guys are going to have to, talk about, ask each other, and maybe Foster might have to do some thinking himself on. He's being told the same thing in back-to-back fights on what he did wrong.
hey, and they were both split decisions. So one of the judges had it for
That's true.
so
Yes.
I mean,
Yes. Yes.
granted,
Yes.
Hobson won the first time, but even this time, one judge had it for him.
Right. Right.
And it's kind of funny that this fight took place in New York. Their first fight took place in New Jersey, which are right next to one another. I don't know, maybe the athletic commissions or something's going on with the athletic commissions, but regardless, he got himself his victory, got himself his belt back. And I had a point to make with Foster here, but it kind of left me. Oh yeah, so we have a month from now, Navarrete and Valdez coming up, right? Chances are the winner of those two are most likely going to get Foster. If like you mentioned earlier, they're all the top ranks, so it's a pretty easy fight to make.
Yeah.
Um, Number one, as a boxing insider, but also number two, as a boxing fan, which fight would you prefer to watch? Would it be Valdez and Foster, or you think Navarrete Foster?
You know, Navarrete before his last defeat.
Mhm.
Right now, both of the guys are kind of in the same boat, right? I'm talking Valdez and Foster. I mean Valdez and Navarrete coming in off of defeats. They're not their momentum isn't where
Right,
it
right.
once was, right? So best man win. Best man win. Hopefully they give us a hell of a fight and we move on with the Foster Navarrete. But going in before Navarrete started looking like he was having his maybe weight issues, training, his dedication issues. They were talking a lot of rumors going on in his last few fights about his dedication. Um, Maybe here we go. It would have been Navarrete because he was
Mm.
a powerhouse. Just a storm, right, coming at you. Now he doesn't look as a category. What is it, 5 or 6? He's not a category five or
Right,
six storm anymore. It's like a 3 or 4. You might be able to weather it if you lock down hard enough. So that's where Navarrete is. But one good win against Valdez, and it doesn't matter. Um, Navarrete, the winner of Navarrete Valdez is going to be an exciting fight for Foster. That would be the best fight of Foster's career. So we should be juiced either way because Barrera Morales has proven you never count the Mexicans out, right?
right, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and that'll be fun. I kind of maybe it's just because I pay too much attention to the losses, but I think I would prefer Navarrete to even still,
Yes.
even with that
Yeah.
loss to Baranchek at 135, because he tried it. He tried going up to 135. It didn't work. He was kind of stubborn about it right after the fight, saying like, no, I felt fine. It was just the game plan. But most likely it was his weight. Moved back down to
I was like,
yeah.
dude, you look kind of heavy, bro.
Yeah, exactly. He looked soft. He did. He really did. And
Yeah.
it's just like he's like, no, I think with just better training, yada yada. It's like, dude, this isn't your weight class. At least not yet. Maybe later on, but move back down to 130 to take on Valdez in the rematch. And I would even with that loss to uh, Baranchek, I think I would prefer Navarrete
Yeah.
to fight because I mean, I don't know, like I don't
I
know what
agree.
I go back to what you're saying. Like as far as like, is it the fighter or the corner? Like, what are they not doing differently? In Foster's corner that they're saying, dude, pick it up or not pick it up because we did kind of see the same Foster. I mean, we saw the same Hobson too, but we saw the same Foster. But anyway, all right. So that was a good fight. Foster got himself a his belt back. Good for him. On the undercard, we had um, so there were a couple of things going on at that neighboring weight class, 130, 135 pounds in particular. There was a couple of things happening at lightweight, the undercard in particular, or I guess I should say the co-main event with Raymond Morataya versus Jesus Perez. Morataya came in here and basically just mopped the floor with Jesus Perez, and he's a formidable opponent. I think he was 25-5 with like 18 KOs or something. I'm talking about Jesus Perez. So the dude had something durability and nothing else, and Morataya just mopped the floor with him. And this is another name at 135, and I'm going to bring this up a little bit later on, but there are some rumblings going on at 135 right now. Everything from like established guys that are kind of like on the verge of becoming something, and then a couple of guys underneath them, right behind him, that are rumbling as well at 135 that I'll get into a little bit later on. But it's almost like the next crop of American fighters coming up at 135. But it starts with guys like him, like Murataya. After the fight, I believe Kriegel asked him about Vasily Lomachenko. It seems to be the easier fight to go. The fact that Lomachenko is with top rank and still at 135. He's like, dude, I'm ready for everybody. I'm ready for anybody and anybody. And it'd be cool. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind seeing him with the likes of Lomachenko or even Shakur. But great fight as far as like going in there because he's had a couple of tough fights recently where he just didn't quite look like it. Like they were giving him the opportunity to step it up and get to the next level, and he just didn't quite show it. And then
Right,
he comes into
right.
this fight and just mops the floor with his opponent. So, what did you think of his performance, and what did you see?
Well, it was a great performance. Anyone who likes watching the skill side of boxing would have appreciated what he did in there last night with his movement, his defense, his counter punching. It was all working. The way he took out Perez was very impressive. It wasn't just it wasn't just about his power, right? He
Mhm.
set up the punches nice. Everything looked good. Kid looked ready. Let's
Mhm.
say that for the 6 minutes or so that the fight happened or was on, he knocks him out in the second.
I believe it was second. Yeah,
Second, yeah. So for as long as it lasted, Murata, I believe is his name. He looked ready.
Murataya. Murataya.
Murataya looked ready. So I wouldn't mind where they put him. Um, you'll talk about how we got a bunch of young guys coming up. I don't know how they're going to see their way through this, because is there a list of journeymen that can get these guys to the next level um before they fight the Lomachenko's of the world? Like maybe a Cambosos, is that what we're looking at maybe for the next level for him? Um because Lomachenko just seems like that's a big jump from that to Perez.
Yeah, it is.
But I know the young man he's ranked in like three different divisions now. So at a certain point, you got to put your money where your mouth is, right? So yeah, I would hope to see something a little bit around the Cambosos area. But then you start talking about the same thing I said about Concencion is there's not a lot of fighters for top rank to be picking from, and Cambosos would just be another name, another veteran that has taken a few defeats in the last year or so. So maybe it is you just put your feet to the fire and go for Lomachenko. Um, it's a
Well,
decent fight. It's one that I would be surprised that Lomachenko agrees to, seeing that he just turned down a big fight potentially with Tank.
mhm.
You would think that the radar that Top Rank was offering would be bigger than a come up fight that I don't think would be on ESPN. Pay per view.
No, definitely not. I mean, that's not it's not worthy of a pay-per-view. Neither of those guys are pay-per-view proven to
Yeah,
any degree, or at least have been on one to have a better idea of whether or not their market is there. Um, I guess from a fan's perspective, who do you think he would match up the best against? I'm talking about Morataya. Of the other champions, we have Baranchek, the guy who beat Valdez, or not Valdez, Navarrete, and then Shakur and Tank and who the fuck else? I forgot. Oh yeah, and Loma, of course. So those are the champs right now at that weight class. Which do you think would probably be? I mean, I know there's going to be.
It's
Uh,
Shakur and Tank are in a league of their own. So flip a coin with the other two guys, but Shakur and Tank are in a league of their own. That's the boss of the video game, right? When you get to those
mm,
are the final two characters in this game. So, and that's with all respect to Lomachenko. It's just because of his age, bro. You know, that's I would have. I would definitely go after Barachek first, then Lomachenko, then you pick one of the two big dogs if they haven't fought in each other
mm.
by then. Because
Um,
I know Tank Davis got to be getting hungry here shortly. He's got to be getting hungry here.
and when you say hungry, you mean he's running out of money.
He run out of money, just running out of fame, right? If you see more and more people don't care about his tweets because he's not putting his fucking money where his mouth is, he's not taking the opponents that his own fan base wants to see, you know?
Mm,
So, yeah, and I think Al Heyman was starving just a little in this last closer. All right, you
mhm.
don't want to do what we say? Fuck it, we'll lock this down again. Talk to you in a few months. See how you feel then. When those child support payments keep coming in and the motherfucking the jewelers keep calling.
Yeah. It's like the guy that you bought the rims off of for Craigslist. He's hitting you up. Um,
Might
yeah.
be
So,
some court fees. I hate being a dick, but
yeah.
we know
Yeah.
Tank might
Hey.
have some court fees attached to that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I don't know what else. Alimony, something else. Let's throw that in there. Why not? It's
we're
like he
dicks.
he had a he had a house arrest device that he broke. You got to repair that. No. Um, but yeah,
He- we don't know if that's true, Miguel.
they're just speculations. These are supposed. No concrete evidence for that, but we want to throw that out there regardless. So yeah, so that we had Morataya on the co-main event, looking like $1 million. It seems as though he's ready. I want to say on the undercard of Golden Boy's fight card in a few weeks here with Surda Ramirez is going to be Cepeda and Tevin Farmer. Of course, Cepeda is going to be the favorite, the heavy favorite, another lightweight name. Let's say Tevin Farmer loses, wouldn't that'd be a decent opponent for maybe like Morataya if he's gonna come up, maybe somebody coming off a loss like Tevin Farmer. I wouldn't mind that. That might be that's a little bit more of a difficult opponent that'll probably give him the 12 rounds. Someone like that maybe perhaps before you put his feet to the fire, like you say, and throw him exactly with Loma or those big names. But just another name out there floating around that could potentially work for Mortaya. But if you hear him talk after the fight, he's ready. He's ready to go in there and basically um, take any belt, anybody who's willing to take him to be giving him the fight. It seems unlikely that Tank will give him the fight, considering Tank is with PBC and over there. It doesn't look like he's the kind of fighter who would go and take on somebody like Mortaya, but maybe. Then,
Well, we got to remember risk to reward.
yeah.
They PBC is hungry. Not only we're talking about fighters, Tank might be hungry. We know Al Heyman's looking to eat, right? So if there's someone offering him a fight that he thinks his guy, Tank being the fighter, can beat, how do you say his name? Damn it,
Murataya.
Murataya. Excuse me, Murataya. If he thinks he can beat him, I see him doing the fight. It's the Wilder Fury thing all over again because it's guaranteed money that they're really not seeing right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Morataya has a chance because Aram and L have worked together. Now let's think about this from all angles. They've worked together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they both kind of have something in common right now. What do they have in common, Miguel?
Um, shit. What do they have in common? I'm trying to put my
They
finger
they
on it.
really ain't they really ain't fucking with His Excellency. Remember, Bob Arum just released a tweet about being, hey, I would never put Big Anderson in the fight with him. That was that guy. You think that's going to go over well when it gets back to his, or when it already did by now, but when it got back to his excellency, you think he liked seeing that on that 90-year-old man talking shit over there in America about you're the reason why his guy lost and you would have never have done that fight,
Mm.
right? And you got
Okay.
PBC. The PBC is straight. So they have a room to work here, right? They both can make money old school way. We don't need the freaking Riyadh season. Let's go do a fight, pay per view. Because they listen, Murataya,
Hmm.
is he what nationality? I didn't get that from last night. What nationality is he?
Um, Good question. I don't know.
The name sounds. The name
Yeah,
doesn't.
no, he's Latino. He's Latino.
He sounds. He looks Latino. The name didn't sound it at first when it first came
Yeah,
to me.
yeah, he's from West Covina, California. So yeah, he's probably Mexican.
Mexican. Okay. All right. Well, good. Well, you have that angle, Mexican American or Mexican, whatever, which way, it's still a good angle. And then, um, and then you have Bob Arum and Al Heyman putting on a fight together. So there is a chance for him to get that. The young man is ranked in 3 divisions, so I can't really be mad at Davis, right? Dude's undefeated. He's ranked. Back in the day, I would have accepted a fight for Chavez Sr. I got to accept the fight for Tank Davis, bro. He's fighting a top 10 guy in 3 different belts, have him top 10, and he's undefeated. It's a decent fight.
Okay. Well, let's dive into that a little bit more with Gervonta in particular, because one of the other fights that took place last night was on the DAZN card, also at lightweight.
Softball. See how I pitched these
Yeah, you
softballs,
did.
bro?
That was nice. That was nice. It was one of those underhanded softballs, just waiting for it to come down.
This fucking guy. You got the wrong Floyd, Tank. Go ahead, really?
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm gonna take it out on the other fucking Floyd. I don't give a damn if it's nothing to do with Joy or whatever the hell his middle name is. But he decided to go out there and talk about one Floyd Schofield. Now, prior to this fight, Schofield and Shakur were kind of going at it back and forth through social media, at least, and it was pretty funny because the fight kind of turned out a way we didn't expect it. Really, we were expecting Schofield, and as a matter of fact, Schofield himself was probably going in there and expecting a much easier fight. I want to say he said prior to the fight that he was going to take his opponent out in 4 rounds. That didn't happen. I want to say, if I remember correctly, his opponent had never been stopped prior or something like that. So at some point, his corner was telling him, forget about the fucking knockout. Let's just go 12. So anyway, to touch on that fight, of course, Schofield taking on Rene Tellez Giron, and the main event in the DAZN card, which was Golden Boy. Well, Schofield got the win, right? He's still undefeated, young cat, another hot prospect at lightweight, but he didn't look very impressive. Quite frankly, he didn't look very impressive to the point where even the commentators, the color commentators, and Chris Mannix in particular, saying, "Yeah, Schofield is years from fighting somebody like Shakur Stevenson." If that's the case, then he's equally as years far away from fighting somebody like Tank. Although Tank went to Twitter and made his voiced his grievances, I guess. He says, "I'm getting a bite to eat, and I'm hearing that Kid Austin, which is Schofield, you're getting your ass kicked, bruv." Says, "Tell me it ain't so. Hit me back ASAP. Clear this shit up." So right off the bat, he's got him in his sights, right? And then he puts another post, Tank, I'm saying, on his Twitter account. I keep saying Twitter, but I guess it's called X now. Whatever. You all know what I'm talking about. And he posted a video of Schofield going back to his corner, sitting down on his stool, and falling off. Prior to that, he got a little rocked in that round, and basically, when he fell, his pops helped him. Like, he kind of pulled him up through it by his gloves, like underneath his armpits, and got him back on the stool. So
And
it
he
was
was
pretty.
legit. He was legit rocked in that at that moment right there. When
Yeah,
he falls down, yeah, he is dazed off a hook that happens a few seconds prior to that. So yeah.
And Gervonta Davis says, I guess this is the term that a lot of young cats, and I say young, you know, compared to me because I'm 40 and Gervonta is going to be 30 here very soon. But he says head ass. That's something that the young cats say, like head ass. It says, and stop letting your father cut your hair. So he's basically making fun of him because he's dazed and he's falling over on the stool, and he decided to throw an extra jab, and they're talking about his haircut. So clearly, Schofield's performance left a lot to be desired. His opponent was no joke. He wasn't like he was going to go in there and just lay down for the paycheck. He came in, I believe he's from Tijuana, if I recall correctly. Although I may be wrong on that one. I'm getting opponents confused. But regardless, he came in here. I'm talking about his opponent, Giron, to throw down. And holy hell, can this dude take a fucking punch? Jesus, this dude was taking shots after shots, and Schofield was not holding back. He was throwing everything into those right hands. Schofield even switched from southpaw to orthodox a couple of times, tried to change the angles up, and landing his shots and flush as all hell, and his opponent was just not going anywhere. And even after the fight, Schofield mentioned it, that he was like, I guess we're gonna have to go 12 rounds because I was throwing. He said I caught him with like a 3-piece, and he didn't back up. It's like, oh shit. So it was obvious that Hiron wasn't there just for the paycheck. He was there to get the victory. Ultimately, that didn't happen, and Schofield did get the win, but he got dropped in the meantime. It wasn't that clean of a shot, really.
Right.
Technically, it falls under the criteria of a knockdown. Which I always use this example. Had he not got hit, would he have gone down? Probably not. The fact that the punch sent him there is considered a knockdown, and boom, we have ourselves a 10-8 round. A lot of people were kind of like, oh shit, this is going to be the beginning, and people started tweeting that out real fast, and they're like, oh shit, it's starting to turn around. He's starting to get tired, it seems. And Shakur decided to go to his social media and posted a picture, I think a still shot, it might have been like a screenshot of Schofield on the canvas, and he says it's something. It's a tweet that I think he said prior to the fight, saying, "I hope he doesn't fall into the Shakur curse, which is anybody who talks smack about me ends up looking bad or even losing in their next fight."
Oh my
And
god.
that's exactly like what happened, right? That's what Shakur said. He's like, "Don't fall for the Shakur curse."
Why are our champions turning into bullies, Miguel? It sounded like we had 2 bullies online last night.
It
Jesus.
certainly seemed it. So he's like, everybody who talks smack about Shakur prior to their fight.
Someone snap back. Shouldn't you 2 fucktards be texting yourselves or Xing yourselves, whatever we're calling this thing?
Yeah. So
What?
Andrew, what did you see? Well, tell me, please, by all means, sound off on this performance by Schofield last night.
Learning lesson, growing pains, right? Past that with flying colors. Was it a great fight? No. The market of Hiron does go up because it was an exciting fight. He took the punishment. He had moments in the fight. I didn't give him a lot of rounds, but he had minutes. He had moments, right, where it was like, ooh, like you said, did he finally break him? Is Schofield slowing down here? But Schofield always bounced back. That's why he passes. Now Floyd, as a young man, needs to go back. Him and his trainer need to look at the tape and see where they went wrong. They don't need to be pedal to the floor for all 12 rounds the way they were doing it. Coming out looking for knockouts, probably not a good game plan, right? So he has things to grow on, but as far where he's at, and nowhere near the level of Shakur and Tank should be texting this dude during the fight. That's such bullshit. It really does seem like a bully's mentality from you two. I got to bring that up. That's what it, and you can say that in today's sports world because of social media. It goes back to the fucking suing of Devin Haney.
Uh-huh.
Now, while I don't agree with the assault, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what the laws are on why they put assault fucking on a professional boxing match. But I agreed with everything else on that lawsuit. If you take the evidence that Ryan gave us. So it's just a new world we live in. Well, last night, these 2 champs seem like you guys seem like online bullies. Why are we fucking with the guy named Floyd Schofield, dude? Both of you guys have something to prove against each other. Stop fucking playing this little game like you guys aren't worth it yet or the money isn't right. Yeah, the money's right. You're as big as you're going to get in the lightweight division. Doesn't get any bigger than you two fucktards right there. Bullies. Bullies. I got to say, Shakur's been having Haney-like vibes lately. You know, you see them doing the little. Shakur had his little. Him and his friends were beating up some people in a parking garage not too long ago, right? Where Devin Haney was beating up somebody in the state fair not too long ago. The tweets, you know, irrelevant tweets. You're like, go get a fight. You know what I mean? Fight someone seriously. And now this last night for them going after him makes no sense really. It really doesn't. This kid's in no position to even snap back at the two, you know? Be like, go live your right now. Them two are on a different path. It should be against each other, you know? Seriously. So for Schofield, keep moving forward. Learn from whatever you did wrong last night. Took too many shots. Got tired at the end. The game plan was wrong in the beginning. Don't ever disrespect fight professional boxers saying you'll knock them out in 4 rounds and then come out and actually try to do it. It almost costs you. Because I did have that moment where he fell was big. Because it was like, oh, did he really? Is he hurt? And I want to say Heron doesn't throw a punch for like the first minute of the next round. Terrible on your part. You need to come out and you need to go after it. But I could have swore I remember in the next round, he's just not pressing the action like he should when you just crack the dude and you seen him literally fall down in the corner because he misjudged where the fucking seat was. So that did happen on Heron's side. Poor man's Pitbull Cruz, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, a couple of notches below, I'd say, yeah. But
yeah. So but definitely a good fight for both. Like I said, if you're looking for skill, there wasn't too much skill, I could say. I wasn't telling Junior this is what I'm looking for. Not too many times in that fight. But definitely like to see them both come back. Heron because of his excitement, because of the way he took the punch and was able to still move forward. And Schofield actually is a working project, right?
yeah, and that's a good point. You really coined it when you said a learning process. It was a learning fight. There was a lot for him to learn in this fight. Number one, you don't predict some stupid shit like that, especially with a guy who's never been dropped or never been knocked out, I think it was, with Hiron. But on top of that, he turned his back. You don't do that shit, right?
Oh,
Right.
big! Oh yeah, dude.
Hiron landed a shot kind of like on his ear, and he did one of these things where it's like, okay, and Hiron was like about to crack him. You don't do that shit, right? I mean, Schofield, you don't turn your back. That was totally legal. And as a matter of fact, Sergio Mora said himself, he's like, I wouldn't have done that. I would have fucking clocked the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't turn your back.
Hold on, great point, Miguel. Great point. I just want to tell Schofield one thing if he hears this today. If you ever make it in life and Heron is not doing so good, you got to help that man out for the moment he gave you in that fight, dude. Because he could have. That was a Wilder Zhang all over again. Bro, throw your fucking punch. Throw it, Heron. He granted him a career. He said, I'll let you live. I'll let you fucking live. You're right. No, you're right. He needs to pay him back. There's a little, you owe him one, bro. That's one you owe on for that man. Go ahead, Miguel.
That could have been career changing.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Career changing. You clocked the dude, number one, and let's just say he clocks him anyway, and he knocks him out. Let's just say, right? Obviously, that's a loss on Schofield. That's going to set him back, so forth. However, in addition to that, number one, the trauma that he's going to receive from the knockout. Yep. Number two, maybe a broken jaw, right? Yep. That may not heal the same. That can alter your life like a motherfucker. And it's not just that, it's not just the loss, but it's also that his own health. They say this all the time, protect yourself at all time, right? And people, every time I hear that, I don't think, I guess maybe the casual fan doesn't quite understand what that means. Yes, they get it. Yes, protect yourself at all times, but the referee is going to do, and it can only do so much to protect you as a fighter, but that's why you have to protect yourself. Let's say I use the example of like you're driving, right? You're driving, you're paying attention, But you have to be extra cautious when you're driving because maybe somebody else isn't paying attention and then they fuck you up. So even though you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, they might fuck up and there goes, your life, or there goes all
Have
life
you
all
ever
changes.
go? Yeah, no doubt.
So when it comes to like fights, like yeah, the bell rings and the referee says split up, but you don't bring your hands down immediately because the guy might crack you anyway, and that might change your fucking life. So you keep your damn hands up. Even it could be that the guy's breaking the rules. You don't fucking know, right? So stuff like that, it's really crucial, and I hope that his pops really lays it in on him when it comes to that because when you coming up as an amateur, you're gonna know this stuff. You have to know this stuff because something like this could potentially change your fucking career, if not alter your life entirely. And I love that point that you made. It's like if at any point that Hiron is doing bad in his life or doing financially harsh, going through financial hardship, and Schofield is doing okay, cut him a check, homie, because he just and look, this is I'm trying to not go in that direction, but it's like the level of sportsmanship that Hiron showed is
Yeah.
very admirable because let's be real, a lot of us wouldn't have done that. A lot of us would have just clocked the son of a bitch, even Sergio Mora saying himself. So it's like there's a certain his career might maybe his career could have taken off in a different direction. I'm talking about Hiron had he won the fight, had he clocked him, had he knocked him out. Now it's like, oh shit, I just took this guy's undefeated record. Maybe my career goes off in a different direction. Now it won't because he didn't take that punch, but he wins in life. He fucking won in life. That kind of sportsmanship is something that I know a lot of people don't show in the ring, but hats off to Hiron for doing that because he basically granted Schofield his career, the rest of his career. But what were you gonna say? Go ahead.
Oh, it was something
Hardship.
about. Yeah, it's all right. It was something about the whatever
Sergio Morrison.
comparison you had. Yeah.
Oh, the car driving, paying attention because somebody else might not be paying attention. So you
Oh
have to.
yeah. You know what sucks about that?
Mm,
All the videos that you see these dash cams catching the accidents.
mm.
There's always one car that doesn't do anything fucking wrong, dude. He was just driving, having a good day. Here comes a diesel, cross lanes, over the fucking the divider, bam, kills everybody. It's like he didn't do anything wrong. You didn't never seen it coming, and the fucking tree stump flying, dude, just da 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 doing the speed limit. Yeah, it hella sucks, man. That
Mm.
sucks about that new dash cam thing. Sometimes
That catches some. Yeah, I've seen some shit. People, like not
you
paying
can have
attention
your
or something.
space. You can have your, you know what I mean? You
Yeah,
can have
somebody
everything
rear
covered,
ends you when
bro.
you're at a fucking. And I saw that recently.
Fr-
Actually, I saw a picture. I mean, a video of a
Dude,
lady like at a red light drinking coffee or something, and then bam, and she's like, "Oh shit!"
a big rig tire comes off,
Mm,
hits another car, gets airborne, and like hits a small car from the top, just completely smashes it, bro. And then keeps going. Like it doesn't even phase the tire, bro. Literally levels everybody in the car. They never seen it coming because it comes from up top. But the destruction of the tire, you know what I mean? What it did to the top of that car, I was like, holy shit.
mm.
Yeah. Sometimes there ain't nothing you can do.
Right, exactly. A lesson on many, many fronts for Schofield, that one in particular. And then, of course, the tongue lashing that he was receiving in the corner by his dad. His dad was really laying it on heavy, man, and rightfully so, because even at the end of the fight, Chris Mannix was interviewing Schofield in the ring and saying like, "Man, your dad was really letting you have it in the ring, right? I mean, in the corner." And he was like, "Yeah, yeah." We weren't following the game plan, or he was telling me forget about the knockout or something along those lines. And Schofield says, "But the crowd came to see a show, yada yada." So after all of that, he still like wants to try. And look, I can appreciate the fact that he's trying to please the crowd because I'm in the crowd. Yes, we are to some degree boxing analysts, but we could be armchair matchmakers or whatever you want to call us. But at the end of the day, we are fans, and at the end of the day, we do want to see entertaining fights. But his skill level, the fact that he was able to land so easily on Hiron, don't try going for the knockout, bro. Like just school his ass. You can look good and still entertaining by schooling his ass. You don't have to try to knock him out. And it almost seemed as though Schofield got a little tired because he really blew his wad early trying to knock him out. specifically in that third round where they were going back and forth like towards the end of the round. And I think for a quick second, he's like, fuck, I got a little tired because I thought he predicted he was going to take him out
It
in
was
four.
home run derby, bro.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, yeah,
He predicted the fourth round and said, okay, let me try to go with my prediction and try to take him out, which, I mean, again, props to him for trying. But after that, his dad was still letting him have it in the ring, saying, like, dude, enough of this shit. Pay attention, all this stuff. And he didn't. So if you in the corner, and we talked about it earlier with Oshaki Foster, is it the corner or the fighter? Who's the one that's not following the game plan? This one we knew very clearly it was Schofield who
a
wasn't. And
fighter.
we hear,
Yeah.
yeah, we hear his corner saying, "Hey, quit messing around, quit playing around, XYZ," and he wasn't going along with the game plan. So a big learning lesson for Schofield. Number one, don't enough of these prediction shits. Just go in there and do a job. Especially right now, where winning is important. You could look good later. Right now, winning is important. Listening to your corner, of course, and your pops in general, and then don't turn your fucking back, homie. I mean, I know I ain't gotta
And
tell
he
you.
did it twice. And he does it
Oh,
twice
he
in the
does it twice,
fight.
really? Oh shit!
I think he did it in a few rounds later. He did it again where he turned his back, man. Yeah, I want to say he did that. He had that moment twice, and it wasn't as bad as the first one, but it was another one of like, dude, what is he doing? Like someone's gonna clock you one day. Hit on big props on holding back. He definitely didn't watch. He didn't go for the Russian on Rocky. I tell you that. Heron is not a
he,
Russian fan.
no, he didn't go for the Floyd and Victor Ortiz. He didn't go for that shit, right? Which again is commendable, but it was a sloppy
It
fight
is.
overall, right? Overall, these guys were just like swinging for the fences. Which again, it was more of a brawl, really, right? And maybe fan friendly, I get it, but it
And I
wasn't
couldn't believe
exactly.
it didn't end, Miguel. I can't believe it went 12, dude.
Mm,
Man, because they were both landing. Like I said, not only we seen Heron hurt, but we seen Heron hurt Schofield. So it was like, oh, here it is. Now he's breaking the young dude down. Young dude stood in there too long. His punches didn't hurt him, and now he. But no, it goes 12 rounds. So that was pretty surprising that fight went 12.
yeah, I didn't expect it to go 12. I mean, and is man, besides the learning lesson on Schofield, is I don't want to say, maybe I'm jumping the gun, but is his chin kind of in question a little bit? Because
It
Hiron
should
threw some
be.
shots a couple of times. I mean, like, but I mean, again, we're talking about Shakur, whose skill level is light years ahead of Hiron, but the power might be different. Because that's one of the things that he was saying Schofield at the end of the fight. He's like, Shakur doesn't have the kind of power that Hiron fucking had, so I'm cool with him. Yeah, but he has the schooling ability. He can fucking dance, dance circles around you. But he got clocked a few times, Schofield, I'm saying, and he was stunned. Um, like, does this put into question that, like, his chin? Like,
I
is
think
it
he
is it just
got.
the opponent or is it because his chin?
I also think you got to look at a mental side of this on this fight. I thought he was getting hurt mentally, breaking down.
Okay.
When you hit someone with your home run shot, right? When you keep hitting the ball and you think everyone's a home run, you're like, oh, that one's out. Ooh, that one's out. Eventually, it starts getting to you, right? And your swing, and it happens to boxers too. Their punch isn't as strong as it was earlier because they already hit them with their best shot 7 times in
Mm.
5 different rounds and it didn't do shit. Now we're in round 9. So I think Schofield is having some of those moments late in that fight where Heron wasn't and started having his momentum. So I don't know if I'm questioning his chin or his mental on this side in those later rounds. Because like I said, he always came back, right?
Mm.
He always
Mm.
comes back after he showed these little lapses. So you just move forward. We've seen fighters get hurt early. They never have a problem. Canelo being one of them. Canelo's brother. They used to go to Cotto's brothers fight all the fucking time. Oh, he got rocked in Cotto's fight. It's never affected the dude throughout his whole career. So Schofield not worried about it yet. Um, More worried about the punches being landed on him and the way he looked late in the fight. In no way, and it's not a bad thing. It's just these growing pains. This is where his weaknesses were in this fight. Fucking work on him. In no way should Shakur and Tank be texting this guy though. Um, those guys should be looking at each other. Um, Schofield can look at Shakur maybe 2 years down the road. You, you know what I mean?
Okay.
That's how far he's away from a Shakur Stevenson fight. and he's at the age where that can happen. So this is where I wanted to go. You know why they're picking on him? And Schofield his team needs to be careful about who his fucking promoter is. Because that promoter has put his guys into fights that they weren't ready for before. Mr. Golden Boy, Mr. Oscar De La Hoya, Mr. I won the gold fucking medal at 19 and beat Julio Cesar Chavez by 21. That guy thinks his fighters can beat anybody, right? It's just who Oscar is. Don't take a Shakur or Tank fight. You know Leonard, they already worked Oscar over on Canelo, right? They got him to sign the Floyd Mayweather fight when they knew, everyone in that building knew he wasn't ready. They fucking worked him when they got him to sign the Ryan Garcia fight when everybody knew in the fucking room Ryan shouldn't lose that weight. You should not have a rehydration clause. Oh, no, Ryan said he wanted, so we're going to do it, and this is what we're going to do. Well, there it is. Now it's signed. So Leonard has worked him twice. Don't be surprised. He's telling Tank, yeah, let's go get Schofield now. We'll get rid of him now so you don't have to deal with him later when he's better. You understand? Like Floyd to Canelo and like Ryan to fucking Tank. So Schofield, you got to make your decision because Oscar will take the money. Oscar will take the money and he'll say you're ready. That's just what and then tell the media that he said it wasn't his plan. But at the end, it should always be what the promoters want because you dictate these guys' career and you get blamed for everything. Canelo, prime example. As soon as he loses, I hate Oscar. Fuck him. He's the one that did it. Right? You talk to Oscar, they go, no, it was him that wanted to sign the fight.
Yeah. So on that note, you mentioned Shakur and Davis. They shouldn't be, tweeting at this motherfucker at all, really. One of the other guys who was tweeting though is another lightweight prospect in Abdullah Mason. One of the reasons I wanted to bring this up is just because they're, in addition to Schofield, which we saw, next week we have Keyshawn Davis in the ring. So in addition to Schofield, next week we have Davis and we do have Abdullah Mason. These three young Americans, lightweights right now. They should be tweeting each other. and Mason did say something. Mason did I think they posted it on. Hold on, they posted it on what was it? On Instagram. The DAZN posted on their account, and it was a quote of Schofield that says Shakur doesn't have any power, right? Like Renee did. And right below it, a comment by Mason, Abdullah Mason, saying like, bruh, really? Fuck. And then he put some like flames or something. But anyway, he's now joining the bullying, I guess we can say. I would say I would expect a tweet from him for sure, because he too is in a similar boat as Schofield, Mason I'm talking about. And then, next week we're going to have Keyshawn Davis in the ring. But holy hell, these three dudes, these young cats, Americans, lightweights at the moment. If at any point they're going to end up fighting one another, they're coming. They're like the next crop. Maybe they won't be a lightweight by the time they fight, but regardless, they're in the neighboring weight classes. And holy hell, this is a great, what a stacked prospect list. We always talk about the guys at the top, the champions, the whatever we want to call them, the four kings or whatever the shit, right? But rarely do we talk about the guys that are coming up. But these three motherfuckers, holy shit. What were you gonna say?
And what's crazy about it is the four kings two of them are gone, so they're not even lightweights anymore. The fights never happened like the real four kings. We never seen the mixed match between all of them.
Well, not yet. Because maybe we'll get them. Keep in mind.
Well, later on, but I'm talking about lightweights. At the lightweights where they were titled the Four Kings.
Yeah.
Right. Tank needs to watch out that he doesn't secure any huge fight, and then he's left with only having to fight three up and comers, all gunning for his title because they all deserve title shots. Right. He's got to really worry about that, because then you're falling into the Terrence Crawford area where you're not going to get your 20 million. And for Tank's rumor, it's 30 plus million a fight. You're not making that fight in Mason right now. You're not making that fight in Davis right now. And you're not making that fight in Foster, right? Or who was the last guy you just said?
Schofield.
Schofield right now. So none of these three fights make you that money, yet these three fights are potential on the radar, because if I'm those three guys, I'm not facing each other for nothing. if all of them can start becoming title shots, then you take your title shots at Shakur,
Lomachenko.
Tank, and Lomachenko. So I see that's why I think Lomachenko. I think Top Rank asked them to deny the Tank fight because they
Why?
have too many.
Explain that. Explain that. Why?
Because they have too many guys. They're probably wanting Keyshawn to take out Lomachenko. If Lomachenko really has a title, you need Top Rank to keep that title. You can't give it to Tank because then they dictate the rest of these younger guys' career. And isn't the other kid, not Schofield, we know he's Golden Boy. Mason, isn't he Top Rank also?
Yeah, I want
I
to say
think
Mason
so,
is both,
bro.
and Keyshawn Davis, both of those dudes
Or Top
are
Ranks.
top rank. Yeah.
So that I think that they ultimately that's why they asked Lomachenko, we've done you good your whole career, do solid for us. Back out of this one, even if it's potential big money, we'll give it, we'll make it up to you in this end. And let's be honest, Lomachenko still has a chance of beating Keyshawn Davis. It's not freaking written in stone that
Right.
Keyshawn is going to win that fight, right? So
Yeah.
if the money's right at the same level, yes, you had potential of making more because Al's going to put on pay-per-view and give you a piece of that. But if the guarantee money is at the same level of potential what you were going to make at PBC, then you might look at that fight and go, you know what, maybe I leave some money on the table, but this is a more winnable fight because I don't think anyone really had him beating Tank Davis at this current point in his career going into that fight. So that's where I think we've solved today why Lomachenko refused the Davis fight. Is we got too many young guns coming here, and really Tank isn't going to be. They don't want Tank holding these titles, right? Top Rank
Mhm.
does not want Tank Davis holding these titles. So I wouldn't even see Shakur unifying. Unless it's Shakur has all, if Shakur then beats whoever owns Lomachenko's title, whoever comes out ahead on that little triangle of top ranked
Right.
fighters,
Yeah.
then maybe they'll move forward. Oh, and Shakur's not even top rank anymore.
Oh, that's right. He's
He's
matchroom now.
out.
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
out. Yep,
Wow.
he's out.
Holy hell.
So
That's some. Oh, go ahead.
top ranks got some rebuilding to do. Yeah, that's their only title left. Lomachenko's holding their only piece to money right now. Wow. I don't know
Well,
how good a relationship Bob and Shakur have if they can bring back whatever they had before, because it's not like Shakur is doing great without him, right? It's another Berlanga. I guess Berlanga got Canelo. Yeah, he got Canelo. He can't be mad. Nah, never mind. He
yeah.
did better without Bob.
Well, I mean, some do, some don't. We saw what happened with Teofimo, right? I mean,
He
Teofimo eventually tried to go to Matchroom and something, right? When in his loss to to Cambosos, so things didn't work out for him. He had to come back.
Yep. He didn't take her home, but he at least banged her. Berlanga. You know what I'm saying? He at least said he had sex
He
with
did.
the big time.
Uh, yeah, I guess so, right? I mean, he scored to some degree, right?
That's
Maybe it
right.
wasn't what he
That's
was
right.
expecting with Top Rank, but he
Yeah.
scored, which is kind of funny because I always thought about when Top Rank is trying to, now that they're trying to kind of get their next Miguel Cotto, their next Puerto Rican star with Xander Zayas, and they had Berlanga, and then Berlanga took off, and it's like he got himself his big money fight, and Zayas hasn't, but I would say
So I,
Zayas is taking the smarter route and taking it slower than fucking Berlanga because they threw his ass into the deep end real fast as soon as he left.
That's why it always makes me laugh when girls think they have to let a guy off slowly after they've already given it up. It's like, no, no, he's just gonna immediately go, no, I already fucked, so
Yeah. So why do I have to take you out for dinner?
you want to move on, go ahead and move on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm the one that conquered you.
It's when you dated for 2-3 months and you don't, and she
Yeah,
moves on that you feel you fucked up.
yeah.
I'm just
You,
playing,
you couldn't
girls.
seal the deal. You couldn't seal the deal. But yeah, but that was quite the fight, the entertaining fight for Schofield and Renee, and I don't know where where. I mean, I guess they're gonna have to pump the brakes on him, because I mean, I know everybody was talking about Shakur already, and mind you, it's gonna be a while before we see Shakur because of his injury. So I don't know where the hell he's gonna stand or how long he's gonna be I guess how quick he's young, obviously, right? So he's going to heal a lot better than guys that are older. I don't know how quickly we'll be able to see him back in the ring, and even if he does, well, I'm sure he will. But I'm saying when he comes back, forget about Schofield for now. Forget about that shit because it's not worth it. Another champion perhaps, but I'm thinking.
Shakur,
uh,
Shakur and Tank need to line themselves up to be the biggest fish in that pond. So when they have to fight these little guys, they can still demand 10 million, 8 million.
or rehydration clause.
Yeah, or rehydrate. Yeah, you know what I mean? Right now, dude, they're gonna be, man, I'm telling you, Tank, you're running out of options here. You're first off, you already missed the first wave. You took the guy without the fucking title. Out of the four kings, you took the least of the kingdoms. You took Ryan Garcia. Yeah, Ryan has went on to do great things in his cheating ways, but at that moment, no, you took the fucking guy that was a paper champ. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
he's so
it was the
running out of
money.
options.
It was money, right? So he blow his wad a little too fast. Like he
Well,
went for the
well,
money instead of one of the champions.
I gotta say, I was surprised at the pay-per-view events. I wasn't really thinking that was gonna be a financial success as it was, as big as it was. So I was a little surprised on that. So yeah, maybe you give that to them if they foreseen that, when they signed. Oh no, who cares that he's not going to give us the credit that we're looking for? We're going to make 1.4 million. Hey, more power to them, because I didn't see that when it happened. I knew it the night of the fight when my daughter called me saying her college was watching it. Then I knew we were in something big. I
But
was
like I
like,
said,
what the
but they
fuck?
blew their wad though. But now what?
Yeah, no,
Now
I know.
what?
Yeah.
Because it could have
And they
been.
didn't capitalize. They don't capitalize on it. They go into this. Oh, I think he goes to jail, bro. I think that's what fucked him up after
Yeah,
he,
I think so.
right? He has to go. And then while in jail, he decides to tell the judge to fuck off, goes to some fancy hotel while he's supposed to be at home. So his little beeper goes off. They go and arrest him and put him into jail.
Right.
Can't make this shit up, man.
So
Can't
this is
make this shit
another.
up.
there's where a lot of the money's gonna have to go for him. We were talking about earlier. We weren't just saying him trying to break that damn house arrest device for shits and giggles. It's because the motherfucker's done it. I'm just saying. Oh man. Well,
Uh,
you
I
mentioned something
wish I
earlier.
wish you could pick. I don't want to go to jail. I'm just gonna go to this fancy hotel, Your Honor. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, can you call your parole officer and let him know that? No. So
Change the address.
yeah, well,
Hilton Suite.
like let me what is it? What iPhone users like? Let me drop you on the map here real quick. You can see where I'm at. You can see where I'm.
The mansion at MGM Grand. You seen the new mansion they call it, the extension of the MGM over there in Vegas.
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't
It's
actually.
yeah, it's supposed. It was nice. I seen it from Paulie C. Paulie C got in.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably see. Follow him on Instagram. That's just hella funny. He's cool.
Yes.
He's got some
Yeah.
good shit on there. Always gets the inside scoop on casinos and whatnot.
Yep.
Policy on Instagram. So one thing you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, and talking about running out of options. I saw this tweet, or not, was it tweet? Yeah, tweet by boxing fans. Now, mind you, most of these I have it. Oh, no, it's not tweet. I think it's Reddit. Reddit is where I saw it originally. The reason I'm bringing this up is because we're talking about a couple of people giving the finger to Riyadh season, to His Excellency, not wanting to work with him. PBC being one of them, right? Tank Davis, Canelo. Bob Arum might be hopping on that, or has already hopped on that bandwagon because of his failed fight with real big baby Anderson, having his first loss, saying that he probably shouldn't have done that and wouldn't have. I saw this article on well, I guess I call it a post, I guess, on Reddit, and it says, "Is the Saudi boxing well drying up already?" The boxing well of that.
Wow.
Now here's the thing. Obviously they're not, but we're not talking about necessarily that well per se, but rather how much more money they're willing to spend if they're not getting the money in return. We hear about the pay-per-view buys that Madrimov and Crawford did, which are okay, definitely not what we're expecting. The payday, right? There was at 2.5 million or whatever the hell it was for
Right.
Crawford. Let me read this here real quick. It says, Saudi Arabia has long held a fascination with the global sports and entertainment scene, spending billions on ambitious initiatives across multiple sports, from English football clubs to major golf tournaments. The kingdom has strategically funded ventures with the intent of positioning itself as a sport powerhouse. But Saudi Arabia's venture into boxing, which have shown similar ambitions, are now facing increased scrutiny and potential scale backs as the kingdom realigns its spending priorities. In the light of recent announcements and economic shifts, I'm not sure what they're talking about there because I don't follow, call me ignorant, but I don't follow news elsewhere. So I'm not sure what they're talking about. But he says, um, in light of recent announcements and economic shifts, there is a growing speculation about whether Saudi Arabia's investment in boxing will persist or face substantial cuts. Now, this is just a fan or somebody posting something like that on Reddit, and a lot of people kind of chiming in, and again, these are all fans. Maybe some people have some sort of insider knowledge on foreign policy or whatever the shit, but I sure don't. A lot of these are kind of echoing the same thing. They're agreeing. They're saying stuff like, I think most people know that they're doing that what they're doing is not sustainable. And by that, they mean pumping a lot of money into the sport and not getting as much back. We talked about it before. We talk about their pay-per-views, right? And them not really giving two shits about the American market or how many pay-per-views so and so gets on the American market. And we heard they're getting into them footing the bill for the Sphere show at UFC Noche, that $20 million or whatever the hell that was. How long realistically can they keep doing this? I know that they have some deep ass fucking pockets. We already know this. That's no secret. But nobody likes to lose money. It doesn't matter if it's $10 or 10 million or 20 million. Nobody wants to fucking lose money, and they can only do it for so long before they pull the plug. So in the specific, as of right now, we're praising His Excellency because of what he's doing in the sport, coming in and making some of these fights happen. Most recently with Better Biev and Bivol, and he wants to make bigger fights. Well, he has the checkbook for it, no doubt. But what is he getting in return? Where
The
is the
sport,
huh?
the
The
sport.
entire sport. Do you think that's sustainable? Because the sport needs money. He has plenty of it. But if it's a one-way street of money coming out and not the same amount of money coming in, how long can they keep that going?
He's worth $7 billion, I believe, or his company's worth $7 billion. So it's going to be a while before they don't think their investment. You got to remember, sometimes these investments lose money for years before they start turning a profit. I want to say Uber just got exposed for being the latest company that hasn't shown a profit. They only shown 1 year of profit in the last decade or so, but they're projected to make so much money in the near future. And it's like, how does that mathing? Well, they're investing for the future. They're investing for the takeover,
Mhm.
right? Um, that's what these guys are doing. They're getting in. They're getting everyone's phone number. They're getting their alliances with all the little fish inside of these guys. All these guys looking to stab someone in the fucking back, because that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to have to happen when the takeover happens. When you start cutting promoters out of the loop. Now, look, I said there, His Excellency is always going to take applications for guys that are looking for work. You want to be a manager, you want to be an events guy, make some events over in LA, make some events over in the UK, over there in New York. Great, we'll work with you. You make some events for us. Cool. This whole bullshit about you're taking a percentage of my stable's fighters' money, no longer happening. That is coming. That world is coming in boxing, and His Excellency and their company is going to be driving it. So they have to lose some to gain all that power, and that's what they're doing right now. They're getting all their alliances in. They got their foot in the door. They're in. They're fucking. I'm telling you, you hear it more and more. These fighters are talking more about His Excellency's name than the guys that are running their careers. The promotional company that's actually behind them. I've literally heard these guys go, "Wow, no, I got to talk to His Excellency." And it's like, wait a minute, aren't you a Golden Boy guy? Aren't you a Eddie Hearn guy? Eddie Hearn literally said, "I need to talk to His Excellency." Oscar De La Hoya has literally said it. Like, they're all saying it. What they need to know is soon they're all going to be cut out of this once he's ready to fully take over. So, yeah, they're going to lose money. I expect them to lose for a while. Look, some points they need to do. They need a platform, and they believe they've solved that by signing up with DAZN. So look for him to put a lot more fights on DAZN. These things are going to be for free. His pay-per-views are going to be $20. That's another thing we got to wait future to see how good that is. That might take off fucking big time, bro. I know a lot of boxing fans that everyone that I basically talked to about the $20 thing has shown big time interest in the sport. Like, yeah, I would pay that for that fight. Oh yeah, I'd pay that. I'd pay that. And it's like, all right, well, it's coming. So now you might be able to get a fight for $20. So they need a platform, DAZN. They've lowered the price on pay-per-view to $20. It's a big move for us. Um, they need a face of boxing. I brought this up. He needs someone that can win him fights for some years, that can generate revenue, that can generate a fan base, right? All of and I hate keep bringing it up, but it's big. All these Muslim fighters, big opportunity for them. To a young Muslim man that wants to alliance his religion, his sport with his excellency would probably do way big numbers over there in Saudi Arabia. So he's waiting for that guy. Could you, example, Prince Nassim? Could you imagine if his excellency had someone like that to work with that much success in the sport? Get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, not so many fight fan dream fights, bro. Sorry, better be Bivol. Probably not a good fight to invest in. Yeah, we all want to see it. Woohoo! Thank you very much. But did it make you any money at all? Did anyone give a fuck besides the diehard boxing fans? No. Swear to God, you could tell a casual fan it's the fight of the century, then go, it's Bivol better Beef, and a lot of Americans, whatever, Bivol better Beef. I can't even relate to those two last names. I'm not watching. Just what it is. The last thing I wrote down while you were talking, $10 million concerts gotta go. Those will be the first ones that gotta go, Miguel.
Sure.
The Eminem concert. Did he?
Missy Elliott and Busta Rhymes. We don't need that shit.
We don't need that. Cut that out. So those are some things that they need, but it's all growing pains for them. I do think they're here to stay because of the money that they have and where the sport is right now. It's easy. This was the easiest sport to take over. It really was. All of our guys are like, hey, yeah, no problem. Hey, look, there's a guy with money. He's right here.
Like, let him in your house. Open the door.
Sign this. No, he's fucking great. He's just giving us money.
Like, look, Mom, look at his watch. Look at his watch, Mom.
Dude, NASCAR pushed back, or F1 pushed back, fucking the golf pushed back. You know what I'm saying? They're all like, wait a minute, you're not gonna just take over our fucking sport. Boxing? Fucking right out the whoop. Where do we sign?
That's what I was going to ask you, because one of these other comments, and because I'm reading the comments here, the one that said that it's not sustainable, they said, so it's just a question of when the Saudis get bored and change their minds. A few moments ago, you said they're in it for the long haul. Another one of these things, one of these comments here, it said, oh shit, where'd I go? Okay. It isn't meant to be sustainable. Again, this is just comments from fans. It is not meant to be sustainable. All these events are to promote Saudi Arabia. Look at the Saudi Soccer League. You think that's sustainable to pay soccer players triple what their name value is? No. All right. So it seems like the majority of these fans here, and these are just random comments that I'm reading here, saying it's only a matter of time before the Saudis get bored and move on to something else. You mentioned a few moments ago they're probably in it for the long haul because of how easy it is for that takeover. Is that? I mean, I think that makes sense that they're in it for the long haul. But there's a lot at risk, because if the sports goes in that direction, hopefully there's success and they're like, fuck it, we finally found success. Let's do it. But if it takes too long and they're like, I'm getting bored, pull the plug, it kind of leaves the boxing world kind of in a desolate fucking desert, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's when all of the guys that used to run the sport will come out of the shadows, and hopefully De La Hoyas and the Eddie Hearns and all them will be around to pick the shit right back up. That's what we're hoping. What I got to say about the soccer league, what they're overpaying is, I don't know the numbers that they're pushing in their market and in the UK's market and in Africa's market and in Asia's market. There's a lot of bigger markets in the world than just ours.
Sure.
I don't know where Saudi Arabia is on all of their. We know F1 is there now. You know what I'm saying? They're out there racing. We know that the golf has started, and we know that the MMA world is tied into these guys now. So I believe they're here to stay. Losing money, yes, but that's just for the time being. Remember, we've always talked about, even though you don't see a lot of Americans traveling to Saudi Arabia and to Dubai and all these places, a lot of people from the UK do. So I don't know what their numbers are in tourism from that side. You know what I mean? They might be like, man, we're doing fine. You know what I'm saying? All we're doing is adding to our tourism profit. We're already making a profit because of this side of the globe on over here. So no, I think they have some things they need to work on. They had a great first year, at least for us boxing fans. We had a great first year with him. I don't even know if the year is up. I don't know where we're at. I'm just calling it right now. What he's brought into us, I've been okay with. I haven't
Well,
had an issue.
we still got Usyk and Fury, in December
Yeah,
as well. So that'll probably cap off the year.
yeah. So I'm fine with where we're at with him. And yes, I do agree that he's losing money, but I think they have money to lose. I really do. When you're talking billions, millions ain't, you're not even
That's
close
true.
to it.
You
You
can't
know.
gamble with scared money. That's you
Yeah.
can't. Should you have to be willing to fork it up and potentially lose out? So your what you mentioned earlier about they need a face similar to HBO with Oscar or Roy Jones or Floyd or whomever the fuck. Um, Considering Canelo isn't willing to work, and he's currently at least the face of boxing. Um, and he's in his 30s now, early 30s or early to mid 30s at least. And Tank is reaching 30, not really seeming like he's willing to work with the Saudis. Bob Arum kind of now is taking a step back, saying, "Fuck, I just got one of my prospects got his ass beat because he decided to take the money." I mean, who the hell can that be? Who do you think? And these are just preliminary talks because again, the big names are some of them. I say big names. I'm not talking about in the boxing community because we know them, but and in the world at large, the casual fans who know Canelo, who know Tank Davis, who know Ryan Garcias and stuff like that. Um, right now, who do you think that could potentially be? Like who looks like they have the look, the charisma, the talent to potentially be that name that Riyadh season can be like, fuck yeah, we're going to invest in this guy and take him through his entire career, and he's going to be our golden boy.
Off top, nobody, because I think they're already past the time frame on these next two generations.
Already?
Tank doesn't want to work with them. I think
Okay.
Tank already ruined himself marketing wise. I don't know if he can bring it back from the woman beater, jail, tattoos from the fucking neck down. I don't know if he can bring himself back to being a guy that the what would you say, the white collar world wants to invest their money in. You know what I'm saying? Like a crossover star, right?
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
see Tank modeling watches anytime soon or doing commercials, right? So it could be the next Olympics. Now I know what Oscar's saying about the Olympics isn't on the ballot, but I could have swore we just went through that. The
Mm.
last two Olympics, if not 2 out of 3 Olympics, we've had this discussion about, oh, they're not going to put the boxing on the thing. Then all of a sudden, boxing's there when they realize they're not going to get as many views as if they didn't have it. And to be honest with you, Miguel, I don't know why they always bring boxing back, but they have. So I guess I'm playing the boy who cried wolf on the fucking Olympic committee here about, I think you guys just want some bigger under the table money. Did I say that?
Did you
you're
agree with
looking
Oscar just now about
you're,
how corrupt they
you're
are?
looking for that birthday cake to be a little bit bigger this time
Yeah.
when they deliver it to the president's house, with the money layer of money underneath. So, uh, I'm sorry, Olympic Committee.
Hey, they deserve it. I mean, Oscar, the first half of Oscar's Clapback Thursday, right, was him basically talking mad shit about it. And, him talking about one of the greatest achievements of his life was
And
becoming
we've all
big. Yeah,
And we've always heard about the Olympic amateur boxing being corrupt. I don't care if
sure.
it was Russia, if it's Asia, Korea with the Roy Jones, or if it's if it's your local
Yeah.
event.
Well,
What did we hear about Garcia? when Haney and them were going back and forth, they're like, your mom and dad was the ref and your mom was the fucking judge and you guys used to take fights from us. It's like, what the hell? You can actually have a fight where your dad's the fucking ref and your mom's the judge? What
Yeah.
kind of backyard bullshit was going on here? Ay, whatever. But yeah, so we know how amateur boxing's had its politic issues
Mm.
from day one. So no, I don't believe that they're going to be out of the Olympics. So all you Olympic fighters, up and coming fighters, you could be the next Sugar Ray Leonard, Golden Boy, Prince Naseem. Now look, there's another side of this, Miguel. I don't know if it can be an American yet. I don't know if America's ready to travel to Saudi Arabia, bro. That's a long flight. It's really costly. See, I got to see what the money is to get from the UK to Saudi, what the plane flight is, what it costs. But he might be looking to make a star from over there to get your face going, because then the money's just easier. In America, look, we've already had a few people from America go to Dubai. No, it's in Saudi Arabia, but it was Dubai. They went
Yeah.
over there. They
Middle
got
East.
put in
Looks like Middle East.
prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got put in prison. The fuck? They were on vacation. One got into an argument and got put in prison for 6 months.
Mm.
Start scaring us a little, like, dude.
But
So,
why do you think it has to happen over there? Why can't it be here? Like, why can't they
well,
invest
because
money on an American and then have him be homebred here?
this, if you believe the reports, the whole Saudi thing in the sports world is to get tourism to go to Saudi Arabia.
Ah,
They believe the Middle East is starting to look for money avenues beyond oil because we're we are moving forward. I know it doesn't look like we're ready to move into solar and electrical everything,
sure.
but the time frame might only be 20 years. Where to us, we're like, we're nowhere close. But to these investors, 20 years is around the fucking corner, right? If you don't get on it now, you're going to get behind the ball on this. So they're starting to make what are we going to do beyond oil, right? When everyone starts moving forward. So I think that's what they're getting ready for. So in that scenario, you need a guy who's going to bring just like Las Vegas brought butts to Las Vegas. You need a guy who's going to bring fans to Saudi Arabia.
So why not
Tourism.
start here? Why not start here? Like, let's say build, or not say build, but maybe like get
Because
interest in a
what I
fighter.
just said, I don't think the American casual fan is ready to get on that plane flight to Saudi Arabia. So you don't want to invest millions of dollars into a guy that can't bring 8,000 people to your country.
Okay.
Right? But if you get
All right.
Anthony Joshua, and not this Anthony Joshua, but I'm saying a fighter like Anthony Joshua, Muslim, young, gold medal winner, looked like a fucking sculptured Greek god when he first came out and fought Klitschko, right? The guy was everything.
Yeah. Mm.
That would be a fucking dream for His Excellency. Or Prince Nassim Hamad, who's someone who could relate to the people everywhere in the Middle East, right? With his Muslim ties.
Yeah.
Got a lot of people that probably would come and watch him. So that's why I'm leaning more towards that side than from America. Now, maybe in the future, I hope planes get faster. I don't like the 17-hour flights. I'm waiting for that jet that will get us there in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Then maybe we'll be ready. You know what I mean? Come on now. It's a long flight.
That is. So you were thinking how long is the flight from the UK to?
Yeah. What does it say?
Well, no, I haven't pulled it up here. I just want to make sure I got the locations.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. To see, yes, because it always seems like Tyson Fury. It always seemed like Cristiano Ronaldo. All of these guys were always being photographed in Dubai and in Saudi Arabia. Way
Okay,
before. Go ahead.
We're looking at. So I guess it depends. I mean, I don't know what this. But see, there's well, I mean, it's still shorter than from us, but
Okay.
there's one that's a 6-hour flight with nonstop from Manchester. From London, it's 5 hours. It's a little
That's
under
not
6.
bad at all, bro.
That's not bad at all. There's some that have like
Miguel,
one stop.
For San Francisco, for Sacramento to Hawaii, it was 6 hours. And look at how many Americans go to Hawaii. So for that being to Dubai, that's not. And dude, think about how beautiful Saudi Arabia and Dubai are becoming. These are futuristic places, right? These aren't. these aren't places that were built 20 years ago. All this stuff is new, right? That's pretty cool that it's that close. That's not a far
Yeah.
flight at all. 5 hours is not flat.
There's even some like Glasgow, which I think is at Ireland. That one has one stop, so that one's a stop, of course, but that one says 9 hours. Even still, that's still less than
Yeah.
17 or
Yeah.
however long it is. And there's a heavy Muslim or Middle Eastern community in the UK, in London in
Yeah.
particular. But
Yes.
we see it all the time, right, with guys like Prince Nassim Ahmed and Amir Khan, and then the recording artist MIA, her as well. These they are born there, right? Bolton, stuff like that. But anyway,
Yeah. No.
yeah, that's because that's what I was thinking. I was like, damn, there has to what star can they put in there? I mean, they have to be looking years ahead. What kind of guy that they can put? And to some
That
degree,
guy
I'm not even
Whitaker,
sure. Yeah,
that young man Whitaker, that they were all saying he was from the UK. They were all
right.
kind of like saying he was the next Nassim. He had his moment, and I guess it didn't go too well. He doesn't lose the fight, but he was losing the fight. He gets dropped out of the ring and then says he twisted his ankle or some shit. So,
Yeah, they
but
both
it would
fall
be
over the ring. Yeah,
it would be someone like that. You know what I mean? Where they can work with his whole career, build him up, and and get 14 victories, get 17 wins, 12 of them on pay-per-view, shit like that. Floyd Mayweather, 51-0. Could you imagine if he had someone like that?
well, okay, so I guess the part that seems like I'm missing is the whole point of them doing that is to get people to come to the UK.
Saudi
I mean, I'm
Arabia.
sorry, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. Okay,
Yeah.
so if it's not going to be an American, and you're already talking about there's not much interest of us going over there anyway, so they're going to look for because usually guys like Triple G or Middle Eastern or other Eastern European countries come to New York. They come to the U.S. They come
Yeah.
here to make the name.
It
Now it
used
could
to
have
be
been
that
maybe,
way.
or at least it used to be that way when HBO was around or Showtime or whatever. They're not around anymore. So because I guess I'm trying to see where the interest would be. In my narrow mind or in my ignorant mind, I'm thinking they still have to make it here in the U.S. because we're seeing what's going on with Inoue. They don't have to come to the U.S. I get it. He can fill
Yeah.
up stadiums over there, but no one here gives two fucks about him.
And
And
the
I mean,
zone.
and the zone. So it's like, why would any other, the U.S. in particular, have interest in going to Saudi Arabia unless it's an American fighter who they're putting money in, who's performing over there? That would be a different story. At least they have somebody they can follow who's an American. But you're saying that they're most likely going to have a fellow Muslim, even maybe.
Yeah, just to get his shit started, bro. Just to get in their dream scenario, it would be
Mm,
someone from the UK of Muslim religion
okay.
and an Olympian. That would make them the most profit right now. Terrence Crawford doing his career for his excellency would not make as much money as Prince or AJ doing their careers with his excellency. That's what I mean by that. I think Floyd would have made money because Floyd was universal. Everyone knew Floyd because Floyd fought everybody. Not at
Mm.
the times that I wanted. I know I always have to say that because I hate that because it's like a double-edged sword.
It
Because I've
is.
made
It's
the
a little. It's
arguments
asterisk. It's the asterisk in your name.
exactly
Yeah.
because you make the argument so much, people always will come at you and go, "Why'd you say that?" Then you say this, it's like, ah. Yes, he fought everyone, but no, it wasn't at the fucking time that we all wanted him to fight these guys. But he still did it. It was global. He went from the UK to Mexico to fucking, to everywhere to fight Africa. Didn't do. Was probably from Africa, so he even fought someone from Africa. You
Mm.
understand? So he knew everybody, or everyone knew Floyd. The Philippines, everyone knew Floyd. Um, so that's what I mean by that. Doesn't mean that they don't want the American market or they're not trying to get American fighters. I'm just saying that their best interest wouldn't be to invest a lot of money into Americans because we don't know how that's going to work for Saudi Arabia right now. We do know that the big time athletes of the soccer leagues of the boxing world do go over to Saudi Arabia and party. We know that for a fact.
So just don't start with the U.S. Get to the
Yeah,
U.S. eventually. Just don't start here.
eventually. Yeah, if it happens, it happens. But I think right now they're probably leaning more to seeing what they can do on that side with someone
Mm.
bigger money. just bigger money.
Funny that you mentioned, Floyd not fighting guys who he wanted to fight. Did you see recently that he talked about, like, do you guys see why I didn't fight Margarito? You see that? Because talking about him and Cotto in their first fight. So I saw him, like, I saw somebody, he quoted that recently, and I was like, come on, dude, really? Fuck? Like, even who in the hell knows if that's what he was doing at that point? Because he wasn't caught. So who the hell knows? It wasn't until he fought Mosley that then word got out. But, it definitely taints the victory against Cotto. I understand that. But Floyd and his dumb shit. He's like, you see why I didn't fight him? Like, oh yeah, that's why. Sure, you knew that.
Yeah, no,
That's why.
they would have said it if they knew it. He
Yeah.
would have fucking said he's got plaster in his hands. I've known for years. He would have.
Yeah, they would have
Yes,
ratted his ass
sir.
out. They didn't have a problem fucking ratting his ass out if
They
that.
didn't have a problem blaming Manny, right? They had
Oh,
no
yeah,
proof on
exactly.
Manny. They were
None.
just like, no, we heard he's juicing, so fuck that, we ain't doing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. They had no problem like throwing him under the bus real quick. And to this day, I mean, has there been anything on Manny? And because I mean,
No.
I was when Manny and side story when Manny fought Joshua Claudy, I was like, you know what? If he fucking knocks out Claudy, that smaller guys, we saw what he did eventually to Corrales and those other dudes. We're like, I was thinking to myself, if he does knock him out, I'm like, okay, I might have to just jump on that bandwagon if that fucker has the kind of pop to knock out somebody like Claudy. Claudy was dropped by Cotto with a jab, but it was more like a shock. It was like I think he caught him cold, so I don't think it was necessarily that he was hurt. But for a second, I was like, you know what? Has Manny been on the juice? I don't think nothing ever came out afterwards. But hey, fuck if I know. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there because I remember you talk about Floyd. It occurred to me when you mentioned Floyd fighting guys who we wanted him to fight, just not at the right times. All right. Well, that pretty much sums up the news that we have this week or this weekend. There's some
Told
fights
you not to worry, dude.
Yeah, I guess so. I was a little concerned, but prior to the show, me and Andrew were texting. It's like, damn, we didn't have enough news to fucking get a nice, nice beefy show going because we had the show on Thursday on Halloween night. But we're able to, there was plenty of fights. There was, and plenty to talk about. We do have some fights this weekend, though. Let's keep that in mind. We are a couple of weeks away from Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. That's going to be on the 15th. But this Saturday, we have DAZN, if I'm not mistaken, Jaron Ennis back in the ring. He's fighting, last name I can't, Karen Chakazian, I think is like if I can pronounce the name right, defending his IBF welterweight title on DAZN. And then the co-main event, I believe, is also going to be, if I can just pull it up here, where to go. Bam Rodriguez. Bam Rodriguez is going to take on Pedro Guevara, and it's going to be for Rodriguez's WBC junior bantamweight or super flyweight title. He's going to be defending it on DAZN. That's going to be this Saturday. Just a quick, heads up on the schedule. There's another fight. Oh yeah, and then I mentioned earlier, Keyshawn Davis is going to be on ESPN Plus this Saturday as well. So some fights to watch, of course.
Excellent. Yeah.
These coming up, but definitely something to keep your eyes on. And
those are all future. That's all the future. Yeah.
Especially Duran, because there's already been rumors that he's going to potentially fight Virgil Ortiz real soon, right? So that means he's going to end up dropping his IBF welterweight belt and moving up to 154, and that just adds another name to that beefy weight class as it is. All right, so that pretty much does it, guys. Andrew, do you want to take a look to see if there's any breaking news before we wrap it up here?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody breaking into your house?
Yeah, my wife's putting her jewelry away.
Oh, gotcha. Are you sure it's not a burglar taking the jewelry? You're like, I'm doing the show, buddy. Come on, can you come back another time? Let's see here.
And you know what sucks? Whenever we do this, there's nothing, and then as soon as we hang up, I like refresh, and it's like the first 4 stories are all boxing. So I'm like, whatever, fucking internet. If you could bring this a little earlier.
Yeah, what do you go to? Like, do you go to
my socials? Yeah, I just go to my social
medias. Yeah, good point. All right, well, fuck it. I mean, if something comes up, I'm sure we have plenty to talk about. Of course, in addition to the fight.
The Raiders lost.
Oh, did they? Wait, today?
24-41. That's awesome. Good job, Oakland. All right.
Who do they play?
Oakland.
Oh no. Raiders.
Good job, Las Vegas. Yeah,
Good job, Las Vegas. I don't know if we were already talking about it, but the Dodgers won the World Series. Any
Yeah.
LA fans? I don't
Did you see
remember.
that guy blow his hand off?
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, well, you mentioned it
Fucking.
last, right? You mentioned it last week. Yeah, I just
Oh,
saw.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you briefly mentioned it because we did one of
Oh
these
yeah,
things.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday. But that's why it occurred to me. I was like, did we mention it? But now I'm remembering that we actually did. I did see that. So yes, that's one of the things that I always tell people. Come 4th of July, please make sure you have your fingers the next day. But I did see that. Things are going crazy in LA for that victory. But regardless, thank you guys so much as always for joining us. We're gonna wrap it up because pretty much ain't goddamn thing to talk about. So make sure to join us next week and check out our YouTube channel because I posted a video of Mario Barrios and Media Scrum. Um, if there's more, like I mentioned, I edited another video, but I don't know if it's my microphone or it's my phone that's acting up, but there's like static in the sound. So I'm gonna try to see if I can edit that so I can post it. It's basically just him hitting the pad, him hitting the heavy bag because he's gonna be on the undercard against Abel Ramos on the undercard of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson on Netflix. But anyway, thank you guys once more for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will be back next week with more results, more talking, more boxing talk, because I'm sure some news is going to pop up. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your weekend, I should say, and have yourself a good one. Peace, y'all.